was quit.
Yeah.
His
Was mit Rookie mehr?
took over that game. He is back on the Melee champions, and he is absolutely kicking
So.
And that draft that 100 Thieves used in game number 1 was extremely similar to the draft that they used against Lion in game number 1 of their series.
Interesting.
Directly
Kein Rookie.
against
Auf die oder was?
where Saint had
Wie geht's heute blendend?
and so they went the Akali and they had the Rumble and they had
Aurora First Pick, okay. Anton ist offen. Anton ist nicht offen. War gelogen. Wukong ist offen.
Very good recipe for 100 Thieves, but they have also shown
Das für dich Rookie of the Year.
we're going to get a more split push look here with the
Müsst überlegen,
time around.
wer eligible ist.
From C9 wanted to highlight that Aurora. They can flex that between Loki and Thanatos. Loki in particular, we called out the mid lane champ pools going into this, right? He hadn't played the Aurora, but when
Ist Saint ein Rookie?
Aurora play in the region,
Saint hat auf jeden Fall schon woanders gespielt. Die Nein ist nur scheiße, das handelt viel Squeak, wenn ich drüber reden.
he is not sold on the
Arnold ist nicht der richtige Zeitpunkt.
Actually perfect because last weekend when we had him on the desk, before we even started the day, I was talking about it with him when we were watching an LPL game, and he was so
Loki, Saint, 30, UG. Ja, Loki geben. 140 gewinnt Prime League.
Happy for this.
Well, we do see the
Ich vermute mal, der TPI im Alleingang gewinnt Prime League.
play against it.
Fucking Alien.
As we did point out, though, it is one of
Legit ein Alien.
champions we've seen Loki like
Klein Danke für den
able
9.
to take over games, right? They also have the
Am Front gegen Olli.
Captain
Das ist kein Front,
coming
das ist einfach ein Alien.
in, as their picks, and then
Rust.
Wukong and Cassante is going to round out that Rise Wukong.
Kind of an early poppy. Really, it's
Genau, dann warum spielt Edi eigentlich wieder League of Legends? Diesmal auf For Real?
Rather than go for like an all-engage type of team. They have the Rise already for like split push, and they can kind of pivot.
Wurdest du auch bei All Pro Team? Wir sind gerade durchgegangen. No joke, wir sind gerade durchgegangen, ja.
Now, right now is perceived to be the strongest AD that's left open.
Keine Spoiler, Guys.
We're not going to be seeing that.
Ich habe von Coach Billy in der Sucht dann voll gelabert. Check.
Yeah.
Release bei 1, keine Spoiler. Schaut auf dem VOD-Kanal, wenn ihr sehen wollt.
Into Yunara, trying to-
Wenn ihr sehen wollt,
They don't want to play it on their side into it.
bei Kanal.
But there is a decent amount of, like with Poppy and Renekton, like couple melee champions already. Maybe if you stack up some more melees.
Okay.
We'll see if 100 Thieves want to ban that one away, or if they want to pick it.
Rakan is a great ban. Ayla has been incredible
Yeah.
on it, and
Yeah.
he's showed that. Of course, Emily was able to showcase that earlier today in a illustration segment. So like that is one great example of Rakan being incredible in Ayla's hands. So I don't want to let him have it, especially with a good delivery system with Wukong. Great combo. So that is at least fair. Varus is available, but Poke Varus has been pretty nerfed. So it's
he's
not
lower.
seen to be stronger than Yunara at the moment.
And I'm kind of thinking that 100 Thieves want an AD for FBI that has some sort of mobility, since he does have to play against an Aurora. That champion can delete.
Und eine spannende Partie 1 gegen DKB, absolut, ja.
Maybe something a little bit more mobile.
Zeri's been seeing a lot of kind of some movement, not just from mid lane.
She's back.
Yeah,
Back. And
not
then
from
it's
just
taken
mid lane
away
and
from
Loki.
Loki, we know, yeah.
Exactly. So like perhaps Zeri
Digga, was
seems
ist
to be
das?
a pick that people are low-key looking for, especially with Lucian being banned.
Low key.
There we go.
Yeah, that was good fun.
So with Lucian banned as like pretty much a lane bully,
Was
you're not
ist
going to really
das?
see a Lucian Nami. Wonder what's going to be picked here. Yunara is still the pick I'm looking for, but would be pretty exposed by the Pop EW, Steadfast Presence, but also Aurora's range.
How about a Bard? You save the AD carry pick for later. They're hovering it right now, and there it is, locked in.
Okay.
So Bard
All right.
first. They're saving AD carry pick for red 5.
That's one way to get past the Vulcan security bard is to pick
True.
Bard yourself. You don't get to see Vulcan's Bard.
That's when like you're in disguise in the heist movie, and you're like pretending to be the guard at the front. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to get through the defense. That makes sense to me.
Also sometimes, if your AD carry is
Da komm, Loki, gönn. Alles, wo mein Name ist und viele Likes drauf sind, ist immer gut. Gute PR. Ja, gönnt. Bard auf 4 ist lecker. Bard auf 4 ist sehr, sehr lecker.
Into the Wukong, which is.
Jetzt ist die Frage, spielen die Nico? Wir kriegen wir einen Nico hier oder was? Wo kriegen wir einen Nautilus? Ne, Nautilus ist raus. Kriegen wir einen Nico?
And now Garen
Oder Karma? Oh nein, er spielt Karma, oder?
be strong, especially with the
Er
Bard
spielt
being
Karma, oder?
100 Thieves. So perhaps 100 Thieves are going to go for an
Ja, ich weiß nicht, ich habe noch keine Meinung zu Yunara auf. Was ist deine Meinung zu Yunara auf dem neuen Patch?
Nico, okay.
Die gehen Nico, okay.
Alistair was gone, all those
Was ist deine Meinung zu Yunara auf dem neuen Patch?
For the Nico, she was not banned through this draft, so.
can be scary to be a kind of Nico primary engage. Like Poppy can get fights.
Unchanged, auch mit Dingen, egal oder was? Auch mit
Yeah, I mean, Nico is it. It's Nico and Aurora.
Auch mit Krakenslayer noch? Sind auf 17, ja, wir sind auf 17, ja. Hat 150 gar nicht einen anderen Top-Laner? Yes, sie hat einen Sniper, der ist noch im Roster, aber haben einen 6-Mann-Roster theoretisch. Nur hat Sniper seitdem nicht mehr gespielt. Ihr bekommt 2 Minuten zum Abstimmen, Guys. Von dem ich nichts weiß, naja, also die haben ja Krakenslayer gefixt. Krakenslayer Interaction gefixt, ich weiß nicht, wie das aussieht.
So this Aurora plus Nico combination is going to be looking towards 2 carries here that don't have dashes, 400 Thieves, the Ryze and the Varus. So we'll see if their mobility can keep them safe, but I do like how 100 Thieves have some split push strengths. We mentioned Ryze early on in the game, but also having Bard for later helps you tremendously. Not only can you traverse around the map a lot easier,
fix an, dann würde ich jetzt einfach consistent. Okay. Haben wir mir auch gedacht, aber die haben Leute einfach direkt weggegangen. Haben dann so useless Junta-Scheiße gekauft.
Very strong in the previous game, so Quid has another really good game, and they can really take over the map.
Teams are ready. Casters, what do you think about draft?
Thank you very much, Lounge. I'm thinking that Cloud9's going to need to bounce back after that first game. It's so tough, too, because talking about draft, stomped in a game of League of Legends, you can just blame it on draft, go next, mental reset pretty easily. If you're up 2,000 gold and you feel like you should have had the tools to win the game and then you get stomped, well, all of a sudden, responsibility's a little heavier.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Cloud9, though, in-game, all 5 members running straight towards bot lane, so maybe gonna get a little bit of spice, seeing if they can actually catch someone walking.
Aber eine schwere, wichtige Frage stellen, ja.
Vision. FBI is over in that pixel brush, so not gonna find anyone down here. I'm not sure if FBI has seen them, not just yet.
And he backs away. Comet.
Nein, holt geil Halsmaul, Nein kommt ins Finale. Ich kann diese scheiß Grundnegativität von euch nicht mehr hören. Nein kommt ins Finale. Es reicht. Mir reicht's.
They're so good at team fighting that they can just win the next ones, Azale.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like this team just kind of believes that they're going to out-team fight you, 4 out of 5 times. So if you lose one, that's okay. That's just the 20%. We're just going to go right back, and we're going to be able to outplay you in the next one. And I just love the confidence that
the Lulu becomes Chulu. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is rising here for Cloud9 because this would be a back-to-back year that they have missed Worlds. That has never happened in the history of their organization.
Jesus.
If they lose to 100 Thieves today, they are done for the year. They are not making LTA playoffs. They are not making Worlds. And they have had this kind of, I don't know, this pattern, whatever you want to call it, of mostly doing better in spring than in summer. 3 out of their 4 championships are in spring. Obviously, they had the 2020 year where it was like they were so dominant in spring.
Okay, wisst ihr, was mein Problem ist?
Qualify for Worlds in summer.
Wenn diese Janara nicht komplett gefeedet ist, okay? Komplett gefeedet ist.
Feels like they have been struggling pretty in playoffs.
And there's that big
haben die kein Damage. Und dieser Poppy-Statement, ich weiß auch nicht. Also Blabber ist schon sehr fucking horrible. Dein Aussehen, Dankeschön. Dankeschön.
I mean, I just always feel like the most devastating games are the ones in which you get a big lead and you lose anyway. Because those can feel like everything went right and we still lost kind of thing. You're in the right position, you have the item advantage, but you still can't make it work. Those can be so frustrating.
And as
Wo die muss sein, ein Glück ist der Typ Koreaner.
Where more teams are getting eliminated, more teams are qualifying. Remember that from today until September 14th.
Also Aurora und Renekton Damage machen, wenn die nicht erhält sind, auf keinen Fall, ne? Aurora from behind ist
as FBI and Ayla
eine ganz andere Liga hier.
Some skill shots back and forth down here with Sven and Vulcan. You can see Vulcan using that heal nice and early. Ayla also doing the same. Worth pointing out that C9 does have the extra combat summoner spell in this 2v2 with the barrier on Yunara versus FBI having a teleport. Thanatos trying to trade very aggressively with Dokla up here on the top side. And while I do respect Thanatos' aggression in lane, I respect how much he wants to be in the face of the enemy and dominate that laning phase. We remember back to C9's matchup against Disguised, and Thanatos got punished a lot.
Nee, wir erinnern uns nicht. Wir erinnern uns nicht an die Disguised Series, okay? Nee. Schön. Das machen wir nicht, nee. Ja, der Gewinner spielt gegen Shopify, grüß Poseidon. Und ja, der Gewinner spielt morgen gegen Shopify. Und der Gewinner davon spielt am Tag danach, also am Sonntag, gegen Quest.
the rest of DSG. For someone who had been so dominant, really feeling like he was maybe the best player on the team, he needs to play in a better way, and I think that's why he's pressing.
Blabber, du bist so ein Certified Freak.
Scrapping with River here. Ayla behind him.
Feuer frei. Ja, Bruder, ja, wichtig. Wichtig. Okay, Double Buff für Aurora.
In the midst of margins, he's able to finish him off there, and that's always so frustrating as a laner.
Okay.
You know, as Quid, who's in this position, and all of a sudden you're now laning against a double buff Aurora here.
Yeah.
It's the worst feeling because mana no longer becomes a concern. Thanatos really pressing.
Der Freak da oben macht auch noch Solo sehr gut.
Aggressive. No, as you touched on, Jad, people had talked about him as maybe not only just the
And he
best
take that water.
player, just like the best laner in the league, right? And for him to go from that to, you know, being
Willkommen der Game 5 Rexei. Game 5 Rexei ist OP. In der LFL vielleicht da noch, wenn Blabber Game 5 Rexei spielt, möchtest du dich umbringen in Game um 2 Uhr morgens. Trust me. Versuch mal dem Wichser zuzuschauen um morgens um 2. Der hat Thieves Game 1 gewonnen, ich kann es nicht. Quid ist ein Alien. Also, to be honest, ist einfach besser gespielt. Einfach besser gespielt.
River is spotted here, and everyone collapses in for the original gate.
Einfach besser gespielt.
Yeah, exactly. He TP'd immediately. Vulcan was moving up, so they knew they were going to have the extra numbers here. And by the time Quid gets there, the fight really is already decided. River gets back trying to get to that blast cone, but Loki can go between worlds, flashes to follow. And FBI is going to have to be pretty careful down here as well with no combat sums. He is playing TP.
Blabber, du hast dein Midlaner ist one. Okay, jetzt, okay. Jetzt ist gut, jetzt ist fein, jetzt ist fein. Nice.
Steals away a couple of the small chickens and the large one.
I mean, full pressure by C9 right now. They have FBI with no summoner spells pushing him in. Thanatos has been living under Dokla's turret. Got him to teleport back first, and then also the double buff Aurora was getting a lot of pressure onto Quid, even though Quid has CS'd very well in this lane. But for the most part, C9 playing off of 3-lane.
Wie hat Quid 10 CS mehr?
Loki's getting wrapped on
no flash on Loki.
Yeah, there's your rune prison to start it off, coming out from Quid. Now River just
Flash ist tot.
Nimbus strike to close the gap here. Ayla finds a bit more damage, but now trouble for Ayla as he goes on a magical journey.
Ayla is so fucking bad.
Loki just baits him in.
Ayla is so fucking bad. Oh mein Gott, ja. Ja.
Is about to get paid. River at least needs some honey fruits, but Blabber.
Oh mein Gott, ja. Genau das brauche ich.
So big for Cloud9. What a play by Loki.
Oh mein Gott, genau das brauche ich. Ja, noch ein Juicer.
Knowing that if they get the kill when Blabber comes in, he's gonna get the reset on across.
Wie ist das keine tote Aurora? Oh mein Gott.
Uses his first across the veil here to go invis, kites back, then turns, gets so much damage down on Ayla. So when Blabber comes in, he can get the kill in the reset.
Double Q, and then also just being able to get the instant stun.
Oh mein Gott.
Bard portal makes Blabber the beneficiary of this Loki play. And we said that maybe the early game doesn't matter. This one's looking pretty disastrous.
Ja, sei frustriert.
He cannot believe his eyes.
Ja.
Oh, that was the perfect reaction. I feel like everyone who's been playing League of Legends for any amount of time has had that reaction in one of their games at some point or another. So, rough for 100 Thieves at the start of this one. C9 already off to a good start there with the Feet of Warfare. Blabber's going to secure himself another grab. The Dragon hasn't been targeted by either.
Haben wir doch First Item Blade, aber ich meine, das ist fein hier, oder nicht? Honestly.
The first time, Ayla taking a ton of damage here.
Es ist fein hier, oder nicht?
Vulcan down to 300 HP here on
Hunter Wukong.
You know, and that being said, even though it feels like everything is going Loki's
Auch Quid mit 4000 Millionen HP.
advantage for Quid, that the gold is basically nothing between them. You know, it's 100 gold between the two, despite the kill and the assist, because Quid has so much farm. And I will
Das ist ein richtig early Sun Not Sky.
Ryze can be really problematic because if Ryze gets ahead of the pace of the game, not only is he a beast in side lanes for split pushing, but he just builds so tanky that it is really hard, you know, as an Aurora to be like, yep, I'll just go in and one-shot the Ryze. It just doesn't really happen through Roa, Archangel, Zonias, all of these tools that really make you resilient. So it is going to be possible for Quid to once again, kind of claw his way back in a very different way than on the Akali, but still could do it.
Yeah, he's going to need the help of River, who, while being very far behind, did hit level 6.
Hallo?
Actually is moving just straight in.
Nice, und River hat sein hey, go. River hat sein Smite gefällt, aber das weiß er nicht, ne?
Off of the camp.
Er weiß es nicht.
The smites right now are
Oh, wait, what?
River is at 22 stacks on his pet.
Yo, die haben kein Speed. Push.
20, so
Push
he
bot.
has the level of the empowered smite.
Die haben kein Speed.
However, he doesn't have a team nearby, so he has to back away after securing that first grub. Should mean that River can secure both of the second ones there. So
Not bad. Push noch away from base. Ja. Gut. Love that.
FBI TP's up towards.
Das OP-Krokodil kann die Wave farmen. Sehr gut.
Dokla is running straight down there to answer. So they've kind of set up this weird scenario here.
Und jetzt Lanes fixen. Top-Lane Wave catchen, basen, Lanes fixen, bravo.
Keep him in this 1v2, put him in a difficult
Bravo.
situation, but looks like for now, Ayla's just still moving around the map, so we should be able to see a reset from Thanatos, no problem.
Yeah, they're doing their best to kind of neutralize this game and get things back under control after the disaster that was the overchase in mid lane. As you've already mentioned, Quid, he's completely fine. I mean, he's got the level advantage. He even has a minor gold lead. It's just River who's behind Blabber, but the fact that Blabber still hasn't completed his first major item means he's not really manifesting the power so far from the 2 kills. So 100 Thieves should actually be feeling pretty free to go and make plays as long as they're not on an item spiked Blabber.
That being said, though, item spike Blabber, like Sundered Sky Poppy, is really nasty.
It's a very good item.
Yeah, it turns out it's one of the best items in the game, and especially when you're on this Poppy that is so very effective against the front line, against the engage mechanism.
Und ja, nicht wieder Bot und Drake besser so zu matchen.
Honestly, though, so like it just feels really greedy. Blabber took the
Kannst theoretisch eine Wave extra spielen.
backed off, and then was like, all my camps are up. So he needed to full clear.
Jetzt matchen sie wieder eine Wave. What? Okay, jetzt werden sie gecancelt. Jetzt, geil, dass Thanatos direkt cancelt.
Because his tempo was wrong. Feels like a bit of a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think he's just weighing, do I want to reset early or do I want to farm to Sundered Sky, right?
Yeah.
He's saying that this power spike is going to be so big that it will be worthwhile. So he does complete that Sundered Sky, and now we have to kind of track, does that pay off, right?
Yeah, can you get something to happen?
Exactly. Can you get something to happen?
Gut Ult für den FBI.
That's what he's looking to do.
Man fixt mir Lanes. Finde ich aber eigentlich okay, sogar wenn Sven so matcht, ne? Jetzt gerade noch die starke Phase von Varus.
That's, I mean, Sundered Sky versus 2 long swords and a Ruby Crystal. Not a particularly balanced comparison. We did see a trade of ultimates down there in the bottom lane. 2v2 scrap, as now Blabber's in, looking for Quid. Not gonna get him anywhere, and Loki picks up the 4th kill of the game.
Okay, that's pretty good. Blabber's able to make use of the item, knew that even if River was there, wouldn't matter. They're going to be stronger the 2v2, so he just brute forces onto Quid there. Nicely done.
Yep, really well done. He's able to go topside, gets the scuttle, finds the gank in mid, and now, for the first time, it feels like Loki is opening up more of an advantage in that 1v1. Up about 500 gold at this point, should have his first completed item as well. And Cloud9, I mean, again, up 2K, but this time it's a lot earlier into the game. And we'll see, can they actually make good on this advantage? Because I do feel like it is so critical that they win this game. Obviously you don't want to be in a position where you have to reverse sweep, but also just mental-wise, right? If you lose a game like last game when you're that far ahead, that's bad enough. If you lose this one where it's 11 minutes in, you're over 2K up, I just don't think you're coming back from that.
I completely agree. It's also like
not bad.
The number of games that 100
early Sundered Sky is so fucking broken.
Like how much can they
ist in der Aurora gut? Wo ist Aurora nicht gut? Wo ist Aurora nicht gut? NA? EU?
If you lose this game after this start with what happened in mid lane, I think your mental's toast.
Yeah, Spring Split doesn't matter. Old, busted.
Ich brauche sofort einen Borg Base.
New, hot mix, 100 Thieves.
Exciting. 100 Thieves, they've got the plan, but we'll see if they can make it work out. Here's Vulcan. Looks for a Pop Blossom. Not going to find that on River, who can just pretty easily dodge away from it.
But did get his flash, so that is still, quite a cost there for River. Does get out with the clone flash.
Was gut war, Jonara top zu schicken, weil Waveset einfach gut war. Weil der Waveset gut war. Wenn du denkst, du kannst nicht fighten gegen sowas wie Varus Ulti oder Bard Ulti, ist es besser gut für Waves zu swappen.
And looking at the objective timers, it feels like that's going to sync up very nicely for them. Flash will not be up for the next fight on either Rift Herald or Drake, but those ultimates will be.
And the interesting thing about those timers too, Jet, is they are almost completely in sync. The Dragon and the Herald are going to be spawning within 5 seconds of one another, which can result, especially in a game like this, where one team has this very like significant early game lead, the other side can just handshake and say, all right, whichever one you want, and it'll probably be the Herald, we're going to take the other one. We'll take the Drake as long as we don't have to fight just yet. But it's also 100 Thieves, so maybe they do just want to fight.
Maybe they'll find an angle. Maybe River will do something strange. Normally, he has a little bit
Sven hat Borg.
more even when he's
Zum
doing
nächsten Mal deine Couch
kind of hard for him to make
aufhören.
plays, but with Trinity Force completed,
Aufhören.
For some teams, 2 objectives is an opportunity to trade objectives.
Aufhören.
100 Thieves, that's an opportunity to have 2 team fights.
Fight twice.
Exactly. Why would you go to the other one when you could go to the same one twice in a row?
The 100 Thieves strategy. Yumu's Ghostblade completed here for FBI on the Varus with this poke. That's another thing we'll have to watch as this game goes on and we do have these larger fights occurring around the neutral objectives is how much poke can Lethality Varus land ahead of the fight? Because if
Das
the
würde
fight
nice
starts
aussehen,
off
Fresse.
without those health bars whittled down at all, and he has to try to stand there with his lethality items and shoot through Renekton and Poppy, it's not
Wow, er ist useless, aber er hat jetzt Rod, oder? Das müsste Rod sein.
11 before this next fight.
Immer noch nicht. Jesus. Oh, jetzt doch.
Really difficult to win any type of even team fight against a Thanatos level 11 Renekton with a Lethality Varus and a Ryze who just completed Roa. Oh, unless...
Oh, if he didn't use that
Sven?
barrier, Sven would have died to the piercing.
Lies bei 1 auf dem VOD, kann er anschauen.
FBI has dialed his shots in.
The FBI puts a lot of pressure on there, but it does mean he will not
Keine
have
Spoiler
to
hier, manche Leute haben es noch nicht gesehen.
or, you know, either the Herald or the Dragon, right? You know, that is
Da kann er-
the second cooldown. They're up in about 40, so he'll have to wait a while after they spawn. But likewise, you know,
Wie ist deine Meinung zu Tolkiens Frisur?
barrier, so
Ich fand es gestern sehr nice, als sie frisch gewaschen war und gestylt war.
He really is their consistent damage. You know, a
Ich
lot of
glaube, er sollte
DPS
morgens duschen.
burst, but Sven
Und
is
sie
that consistent
stylen.
DPS, and if they can keep him out of the fight, would be big.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to apply
Aber ich finde,
pressure.
sie
I know
sehen
we're
gut aus.
talking about the team fights, but they push Sven out of mid lane, and now
Ich finde, sie sehen gut aus, er muss einfach morgens duschen.
at this top turret. I
Oder
wonder if
abends.
they actually just
Nochmal noch.
trade, knowing that they already have the one Drake. C9's incredibly far away from Soul, and they could equalize the gold a little bit if they trade for a turret.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be great. You know, we can see Quid obviously.
Nur ein Bild einfach sein VOD anschauen.
Later on in the game.
Was ein VOD anschauen.
They would love
Er sollte generell mal duschen. Ja, ich meine, er stinkt nach Müll, ja, das stimmt, aber
in the area, Cloud9 on the Herald.
ich finde, sie steht ihm deutlich besser als die letzte, persönlich.
Almost half dead here with that last eyeball proc. Ayla and River are nearby, but
Wieder Catch auf River, aber haben die Follow-up? Flash Engage. Oh, 1 HP. Okay, das passt. Er ist tot. Schöner W-Time. Sehr schön, Double für Sven. Sehr gut. An du blond
It's
niemals.
picture perfect here from Vulcan.
Fertig.
Forced out the flash in that previous play.
Oh, beautiful. Schön, gut gesehen von Blabber. Also ich meine, geil von Sven, okay von Blabber. Mein letzter besser? Nee, ich nicht.
This game's going more.
Arguably sah sie, also,
They just
einfach schlecht aus.
completely control River. Last game, he was pulling off too many shenanigans with that Phi. They're just targeting him super early. They stopped him at the crab early on in the game. As Zeo just mentioned, burning his flash earlier, attacking him right there. And then it's the cherry on top was being able to get that wall stun on FBI in mid lane. So they get 2 kills as well as 2 objectives, and it doesn't cost them anything in trade.
I mean, it's just a great angle there from Blabber, who I think is going to have a lot of gold. He hasn't been back to base for a while, so I'm expecting quite a big buy. And yep, most of the way towards that Deadman's buys some of those major components. He is going to be
Jesus, die Poppy ist
ridiculously strong
broken.
at this point. And yes, Poppy is kind of a tank. People think of it as
Wenn er Galaxy gewinnt? Nein, mit meinen Haaren wird nichts gemacht, Guys.
your upfront burst.
Die waren zu teuer, um sie jetzt zu ruinieren.
That your
gesagt.
one combo is really all the damage you have, but that's often
Die waren
enough
zu
damage
teuer, um sie zu ruinieren.
to almost 100 to 0 someone with a full combo.
All right, 3,000 gold lead for C9. Still not a single kill on the board after 16, almost 17 minutes of play.
I know.
For 100 Thieves. Not generally what you'd
Ja, ich weiß, noch nicht gesehen,
They
nein.
fall behind. They get scrappy. They find some kills,
Right.
but it's been a tough one here in game 2.
They might have fallen too far behind on this one, but just because of their streak of comebacks, it's keeping my attention. Like, will
Okay,
they find something?
you're not
ridiculous?
convinced.
Ja, aber das Game ist trotzdem so rough.
Sold that this is going to be a steamroll by Cloud9. Just River hasn't had a single angle to press R yet. I mean, just a little bit over aggression by C9, and I can see 100 Thieves running them down with Bard and Ryze ult. They do have outplay potential.
And it just feels like they've had kind of some 100 Thieves magic, you know, in the best of 5s. When you look at split 3, you know, prior to the best of 5s versus the best of 5s, 6-1 coming into today, so make that 7-1 because they won that first game.
Jesus, on average 400 Gold down sein mit 6-1 Score ist verrückt, doch.
This could be another
Verrückt wäre geil meins. Quit Show.
Vulcan, Thanatos, and Blabber
Schön.
with the burst onto Cassante. I don't think there's enough Cassante
Schön.
gaming to get out of a situation like that one, and Thanatos is going to pick up the kill.
Blabber is everywhere this game on the Poppy. Yet another perfect arrival. First turret is going to be going over to 100 Thieves, though, so they are able to get a little bit of gold for Quid and River. It just cost them Dokla.
Okay, so that's no feats for either side yet because both sides are currently at exactly 2 neutral objectives. Since 100 Thieves did get 2 out of 3 of the grubs, Herald, of course, go over to Cloud9, and then 1-1 on Drakes, which means that logically, one would think that the next dragon also determines the feats of warfare. However, Otacon is technically
What the fuck, Ayla?
And I think in a game like this, he'll probably happen first as well. That'll be the fight. That'll be the objective. Because he's only 90 seconds away.
I feel like if I'm Cloud9, I just don't go to Otacon unless it's guaranteed. And if I'm 100 Thieves, it depends how desperate you're feeling, right? Are you feeling like the game is completely screwed? Because if you feel like the game is completely screwed, flip it to Otacon. Go for it.
Okay, just YOLO it.
Yeah.
River's got to try to get away from here, though.
Oh mein Gott, Thanatos. Thanatos hat keine Ulti da. Okay. Ball-ups sind not bad. Loki kommt connected. Ja, okay. Wird der Ulti gepoppt, passt. Ben Ulti down, top. Ben E. River auch noch tot, bravo. Aber River hat's Camp bekommen. Maybe not worth it.
He got 80
Who knows?
Blabber didn't get 80 gold, so that's kind of like half a kill.
That's actually the one on the board there. That's the one kill. They got the
Very interesting.
Okay.
They're so scrappy.
All right, so Blabber drives the Herald into the tier 1 turret here in the mid lane. Immediate keepers.
Boah, Dokla hat aber auch kein geiles Game, ne? No joke, Dokla hat kein geiles Game hier.
Dies, staying alive just by 100 HP.
I mean, C9 is really punishing everything 100 Thieves tries there. That looked to be like 100 Thieves' attempt at a scrappy fight, get a surprise kill onto Thanatos with the Rise Roam coming down, but then it ends up with 3 kills in C9's pockets.
Yeah, exactly. And they know that Thanatos has no ult, has no flash. So, you know, when they do arrive, they're going to try to turn around. They are going to be able to get this kill on Thanatos, but Loki had already TP'd in behind them. He is coming in from the top of the screen, able to get that kill on Ayla. River knows he has nowhere to go. And FBI and Dokla realize there's no chance. We just
Nachher war es schon nicht so. Wie erneut, ich bin nicht der größte Freund. Ich bin nicht der größte Freund von Varus auf diesem Patch. Fühlt sich im Midgame immer scheiße Uses an.
Actually has the largest individual gold lead of anyone. And here we go, Otacon. This is surely the final hurrah of 100 Thieves.
C9 is starting up the Otacon. 20 minutes and 25 seconds into the game. They are daring 100 Thieves to come and stop them. It's a 4,500 gold lead for C9. Sven rapidly attacking Dokla there. The power of this Blade of the Ruined King Yunara cannot be underestimated as C9 have the Otacon down to about 3k. Meanwhile,
oh je, Backline. River hat echt kein... Also, River wird hier sehr gut rausgenommen, ne? Muss man sagen. Also, River wird hier sehr gut rausgenommen in dem Game. Otacon down und das ist ein harter Stomp. Das ist honestly...
taken down by the all-out as 100 Thieves want to get everybody else away, but they're all such low HP. 100 Thieves all barely hanging on. At the end, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but the Otacon goes over to C9.
Yeah, it is that 1-for-1 trade. Nicely done by Cloud9, marking River, making sure there's no opportunity for him to get in. He had no flash. It was always going to be hard, and they're going to be able to grab the Dragon off the back of that as well. 100 Thieves did get a big shutdown. It was about 800, 900 gold that I believe did go to Dokla off the kill onto Sven, but still, Cloud9 taking away the Otacon, taking away the Dragon, controlling the game, making sure there's no 50-50, looking way more clean and controlled in this game too.
And Flowers, you were right. Otacon was first.
I knew it. As soon as Isaac said, I don't think you fight for Otacon here, I'm like, okay, we're fighting for Otacon here.
I'd be wrong.
I feel like every single game for the past couple of weeks, when I thought, surely they won't do a 20-minute Otacon in this game, it always happens.
Cloud9 does feel like they're in a large amount of control. The bounty going over to Dokla, and the gold still looking somewhat playable. Still suspends my disbelief a little bit. Also, just all the comebacks 100 Thieves has, it's just getting slimmer and slimmer as we go on, because Loki's completely locked in on this roar. He's always able to mark anyone on the flank. Blabber is untouchable at the moment. Sundered Sky, Deadman's Plate, so he's going to be first to any sideline fight. Which just
also alle Kills trifft auf Cassante. Boah, ich glaube auch nicht, dass er da sterben darf. Ich weiß nicht, wie er es gespielt hat, aber ich glaube nicht, dass er da sterben darf. Eigentlich.
Game compared to the last one is there's Waylex kind of like X-Factor champs, right? You know, Varus is very, you know, kind of slow, standard. You just hit poke or you don't. When you're really behind, it's very difficult to, I think, get a lot done on this poke Varus. And likewise, Quid, Rise doesn't really have a tremendous amount of kind of like, you know, X factor, right?
Yeah.
You walk up, you just kind of do your spells, and that's about it, right? There's no kind of crazy plays that they can really look for. I think you're hoping that Ayla can hit a great Bard ult, that River and Doku can follow up on that, and you can somehow get a kill right off the bat.
Wir spielen mit Onnit, ich weiß nicht, ob Onnit spielen darf.
FBI and Quid
Honestly.
are not on champions with a ton of individual agency.
Ich weiß nicht, ob er Onnit spielen darf. Ist mir ein bisschen gefährlich. Also natürlich Onnit ja, aber wenn die in seinem Gesicht sind, weiß ich nicht, ob wer das für ihn.
So badly in game number 1 was a very underwhelming performance from Loki's Orianna. It just did not have the impact that you would expect him to have. Meanwhile, in this game, his Aurora, like you already said, Isaac, is locked in. He is playing to the level that fans have come to expect.
Eins war eine entertaining Shitshow. Sehr empfehlenswert zu schauen.
It's crazy that Quid is still keeping up in gold. A lot of that is from turrets that he's been able to take while things are happening on the other side of the map. But Quid will be hitting level 16. He's still going to try and be that split push threat and mage machine gun in team fights. It's
Blauer fast 15.
To be enough. It's funny as
Bei Level Lead in Jungle ist great.
Champion with the most outplay potential here is probably Rivers Wukong, and he's 0-5-1. So they've really been keeping him down for the majority of the game.
Yeah, and there's no easy champions for him to really jump on because they all have a lot of mobility. They should be able to walk this out. It's like Sven pops ult, he can dash away pretty easily. Loki can go, across the veil or between worlds, has a lot of ability to kind of stay safe. They don't really have the upfront damage, kind of 100 to 0 people, unless somehow, FBI is hitting.
Das Kardiale gehen den Bach runter aufhören. Ja, Dankeschön.
It just doesn't feel like it's going to happen.
Poppy just presses W.
Exactly. Poppy presses W.
Hier hat mein Rice 280 Creeps und ist ein ganzes Level ahead, obwohl das andere Team Attacke, I guess, Rohr. I guess Rohr.
They did at least get that one early dragon, which means that, the March to Soul is slower from Cloud9.
Yeah.
So I feel like the best chance of a comeback for 100 Thieves is Quid getting something done in the side lane, right? It's forget the 5v5. It's hope that you and River or you and someone else can get a 2v1 and get a kill in the side lane and start to delay the game through picks and through that side lane play to maybe claw your way back in later.
And level 16.5 does have the fully stacked Roa, does have the fully evolved Seraph, does have Cosmic Drive now completed as well for the extra movement speed, the extra haste. Yeah, the Rise is...
Ich weiß nicht, ob ich Cosmic Drive feiere,
problem is
persönlich.
he's hanging out with the wrong crowd. All of his friends are not a good influence on his chances to win this game. Ayla and the River will try...
DJ, danke für die 3 Monate mit Tier 1. Dankeschön. Vielen Dank.
The Baron has now spawned. Dragon still about 75 seconds away. 100 Thieves, like you guys already pointed out, will have at least one more Dragon that they can just give. Say, all right, we need another Quid item. We're going to give you 5 more minutes.
Wird Carry das Game, nach das kommt? Ja, weiß ich.
After that, it's still a very
Nicht so leicht hier im Game.
for C9 to get a Dragon Soul.
Yeah, Sven Infinity Edge pops into the mid lane as well. So even more power for
Rücken Item Bild, geht Frozen Heart, ist okay. Frozen Heart in Direction auf dem Klon funktioniert noch.
As they were a little bit shell-shocked after game 1, I felt like with 100 Thieves just outplaying them over and over. This has been such a good response by C9 this game, controlling from the very early fight where they killed River and not really giving 100 Thieves opportunities to be that creative.
And it was really interesting talking to FBI before the series, his read on why Cloud9 was struggling, and he was saying that Cloud9 is a team that basically plays exactly on stage like they do in scrims, and he feels like sometimes they are just too defensive, they're not willing to pull the trigger in these risky
Sehen's aber, oder?
Iron Rush.
Yeah, you want to talk about risky moments. 100 Thieves are going for the full send with a Realm Warp after the Baron. They've got down to 7,000, but C9 has detected
Ulti, Bard Ulti, oh, Blabber, Flash. Blabber ist so tanky, Jesus, Blabber ist so tanky. Guter Flash von Blabber. Und Sven ist am Free Firen. Sven ist am Free Firen. Wait.
Vulcan swoops in with a Pop Blossom and Quid is down. 100 Thieves head for the hills and
Das muss Nash sein.
Nice play by C9 there, catching 100 Thieves, trying to sneak the Baron. I like the idea of the play, and this Baron's getting lower and lower. River might try to steal.
Let's see if he can make his way over the wall. It would certainly have to be a one-way
Aber hat eine Ulti.
He does. Blabber trying to use
Taylor raus, aber nicht River.
but he does not eject the
Oh mein Gott. Face Might von River. Oh mein Gott, Face Might von River. Jesus.
Loki with the last spell to take him down.
Und das wird's gewesen sein jetzt.
Trying to survive a little bit longer as the rest of C9
Oh, Loki
runs.
pickt.
FBI
Nice.
falls. Double kill for Loki's Aurora. Thanatos
Das wird's
waiting
gewesen sein
on the
jetzt.
wall in case Dokla tries to escape that direction. Blabber trying to stay alive here, but the all-out nice angle from Dokla. They're trying to get the kill here on Blabber. The steadfast presence going to stop it, and he picks up the buckler for the extra shield to stay alive. Dokla will continue wasting as much of C9's time as he can, but he will
OP
not
ist Gesandte.
survive this one. It's a 16-2 game for C9.
That one got incredibly
Wie OP ist
close. Didn't
Gesandte.
even get his smite off. You know, it was River going over the wall, using his smite, trying to steal that away. Does end up getting finished off, but this is the much earlier play where they feel like they have Blabber pincered off, that they can try to get a pick onto him, but they just don't have the damage to actually finish him.
They couldn't get the Baron low enough. I think they would have loved to just burst the Baron and then try and run away. Once the fight starts, it is going to be pretty difficult for them to turn anything. And then watch this. Yeah, River
Es ist Face Smite River, ne?
dodge the Poppy ultimate. And then, I mean, River does smite early for what it's worth.
Boah, 100 HP.
Even 1306 to
1300.
dead. My God, that's kind of lucky that the Yonar actually got that with an auto attack.
Yeah, that was really, really close. I almost want to go back because I'm going to try to look in-game, but it looked like he was trying to Q smite, and I think Thanatos may have stunned him on the Q, and then the smite went off, but not the actual Q. But either way, it's like, even if Sven is hitting you, he has a Hurricane. He's hitting the Baron too, right? So 1300 does not feel early at all. It felt like he did a really good job.
Especially with Q buffered.
Exactly. It felt like he did a really good job trying to make that
Wie viel Damage hat Sven gemacht? Könnt ihr mal checken? Also, gib mir mal kurz die Damage-Zahlen durch, bitte, bei C9.
And now our
Gib mir mal die Damage-Zahlen durch, bitte.
closing out this game.
Chat, are you convinced?
Yeah.
Danach noch ein Match, nein, ist ein Best of 5.
I was going to say, 11,000 gold,
Nein,
soul
best of five.
point, 29 minutes into the game, total control over the Rift. This is about as much of a
Mit
winning
AD Carry
position as you
20k,
can have.
okay. Toplane 10k, okay, okay.
500 Thieves.
It was.
I'll give them that.
Rang
They
12.
keep finding windows to try
11,
and make
12,
things
18,
happen.
20,
Just in
12,
this
okay.
game, like in other games, even if they
Interesting.
land like
Nico balanced, by the way.
plays, sometimes that's enough to turn the game in their
They're
favor.
finding those windows. They're just all steel.
Yeah, it's,
Jumping into the window. It's not breaking this time.
The windows have bars, I'm
The
afraid.
Poppy waiting on the other side.
Well, C9 is going to force down this tier 2 turret. You can see 100 Thieves stepping up, thinking about trying to make some sort of a play, but the only players from C9 they could have targeted were Blabber and Thanatos, and that's not going to work. So River is now deep in enemy territory, and we'll see how he wants to play
He's
this.
flanking. He's going for Sven.
Yeah, Sven is by himself right now.
Svenny,
Maybe get a pick.
Svenny.
River
Ulti
immediately
E.
starts it off with a side
Oh,
quick
Svenny.
Sven caught out, shut down.
Nein, noch nicht die Kentaur-Interaktion.
Thieves to get the pick.
Yeah, that's great. And they get both his sums as well. I don't think it's nearly enough to pull this game back just yet, but it is something that will buy a little bit of time, and it's the best play they can make in a horrible situation. So credit to 100 Thieves. They just have not stopped looking for those winning plays.
Loki finds River though.
Yep, he's going between
Schön.
worlds and
Schön.
going down. C9 ready to get some revenge for their AD
Schön.
carry. All out though, looking to bring Blabber through the wall. FBI with a defensive change. Pop Blossom coming out from Vulcan.
Oh mein Gott, er lebt. Oh mein Gott, er lebt. Okay, Gott sei Dank.
And Loki's going godlike. C9 get 2 for nothing.
Yeah, when you as Cassante pull the enemy jungler over the wall.
Oh, Svenny. Wir müssen uns zusammenreißen, ja?
Levels higher than you. Something has gone wrong before that moment. And that's
Auf der anderen Seite, das ist, war für Poppy Ulti Dodge, nehme ich an.
upgraded.
Ich vermute, es war für Poppy Ulti Dodge.
As well. I
Der
mean,
W.
I again actually like the thing.
Ja, vielleicht biased, natürlich. Komplett biased gegenüber C9. 100% biased, ja.
His team had already reset. Maybe he was just trying to greed out an extra bit of gold for an
Aber
item.
100%.
Even just that play, extending that deep into the mid lane, did lead to the next fight by C9. They chased River all the way down and managed to kill him before he could escape.
All right, 100 Thieves. It's a 12,000 gold deficit, and the soul spawns in 75 seconds. Once C9 gets that one, I would have to think you just walk it down mid and into the game. Loki gonna try to find a little bit of quick burst there onto Quid, but does not hit the twofold hex. So only the weirding, and this is kind of what
für
we were
Loki
talking about
fertig.
earlier,
Kein
where
Death
Ryze
Cap.
can become super annoying for Aurora, because it's not like you can just do a big chunk of damage to him very easily. So Quid's still feeling fine about that one, but Thanatos is pushing up the wave in the bottom lane right now, while Loki continues keeping the wave shoved over in mid. They want to have priority in both of these lanes. They want to make it a game-ending decision for 100 Thieves to try to challenge at this Drake.
Yeah, and I think they should easily be able to do that. I mean, 100 Thieves doesn't really have much choice, you know, about whether they sit back or whether they try to contest. But Cloud9 has choked out almost all the vision in this area. There's no vision in the river at all for 100 Thieves, so they're just going to group up. Hope they can make some sort
Dann hat er kein Flash, ne?
all you can do in a position like
Also es sollte eigentlich egal sein, weil Loki so gefeedet ist und das Krokodil auch 3 Items hat, aber Ben hat halt kein Flash.
Playing it safe, playing it cautious.
Schön.
Loki again with a little bit of quick burst onto River this time. C9 with control over this bottom side of the river, over this Drake pit. It's 7 seconds left until the Hex Soul spawns. 100 Thieves still stepping up a little bit, but the only health bars they're hurting are the clones.
Ist so, ey.
Immediately.
Loki-Position ist ein bisschen komisch, wenn er von Big Dokes weggezont wird. Aber Dokler nimmt halt Damage, ne? Also Loki ist hier sehr happy damit, glaube ich. Und kommt jetzt in die gute Position, schaut auf Loki. Ulti drauf, kommt auf FBI drauf, One-Shot. One-Shot? Kein One-Shot. Geklauter Drake. Oh. Geklauter Drake, aber das könnte trotzdem das Ace sein und GG, right? Ja, die gehen Mitte, GG. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, passt.
I'll give River credit for stealing away the soul, but unfortunately the cost is still the game. C9 are going to get a very delayed ace here after Dokla finally dies to Blaver. Needs a little bit there.
Okay, passt. GG.
There it was. I believe Cassante may have just died to the steadfast presence.
Oh, super. Okay, okay, okay. Wir sind wieder on board. Wir sind wieder back on board. Not bad. Also jetzt Red Side für C9 nächstes Game.
By Blabber's
Na, schauen wir mal.
Deathless on the Poppy. River goes 0, 8, and 2 on the Wukong, shutting him down almost every time he went to make a play.
It started good for C9, and this time it's good for C9.
Okay, Gott sei Dank.
Bounce back with a 23-3 victory.
Schön.